To my channel, The Budgeting Biologist. My name is Brittany. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping on this little old video. And if you're an oldie but a goodie, thank you as always for coming back. In today's video, my first of the new year, so happy new year to you. I'm going to be closing out my December budget for 2024. So if you're interested in that type of content, please consider giving this video a like, commenting, and of course subscribing to the channel. Your girl would appreciate it. Now let's go ahead and hop into this closeout. So hi, how are you? I hope you are doing well and staying safe no matter whenever or wherever you may be watching this video. My name is Brittany. I am a 34-year-old zero-based budgeter outside of the Washington, D.C. area. And on my YouTube channel, I am sharing my financial journey to really hold myself accountable so I can remain debt-free and work towards financial independence. So you already seen the title of this video, right? I went over in pretty much all of my spending categories for the month of December. But we're going to talk about that. I don't want this video to be super long, but I do need to explain why I went over in so many of my categories. And also, y'all seem to have been liking these Google Sheets videos instead of with the iPad. So I'm just going to keep doing this from now on. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this closeout. So this is my Google Sheet that I have for the month of December. I do have it zoomed in quite a bit, so it's just easier to see the numbers that I was working with. Here I have the total income that I got paid for December, which was $4,601.50. My total amount of expenses, which was $3,272.31, and then what I had left over to spend at the end of the month. Then over here in summary, actually, let's come back to summary at the end because this will be basically, of course, a summary of all the information we're going to talk about. Okay, so let's first talk about income. So I have budgeted to get paid $4,588 for the month of December, and I did get paid $4,601.50. I am more conservative when I budget. So when I do my budget, I round down the income, but round up on the amount of expenses I think I'm gonna have. And that's been working out pretty well for me ever since I started, budgeting on my channel. So that is how much I actually got paid in the month of December. And this is also the last time y'all are gonna see my teaching paychecks. I am taking a break from teaching. I just teach a 1-credit course at a local community college. And it was just too much. Even though it was just 1 credit, the travel to the in-person classes, like it was just too much, and I'm not getting paid enough to make it worth it anymore. So you won't be seeing this income anymore, at least for the next semester or two on my channel. But yeah, so that's how much money I was working with in the month of December. So now moving on to savings and investing. I have my savings and investing broken down to a couple of different categories. The first is personal, and personal for me is just my personal spending account. This is my 3 to 6 month expenses. This is my emergency fund. Also, this is the account I paid for my portion of my wedding expenses. So if you didn't see that video of what I spent on my what we spent on our 2024 December wedding, I'm gonna put that up in the card so you can check that out if you're interested. But anyways, so I was really ambitious this month and budgeted $831 that I was gonna be setting aside into my personal savings account. Y'all only put $344.19. And this is because I basically overspent in the majority of my spending categories that we're gonna get to in a little bit. So that's where the majority of that money went. However, I still did max out my Roth IRA for 2024. I budgeted $585. I did put in $585 into my Roth IRA. So that is fully maxed out for December 2024. I guess I should say for 2024. I have budgeted to put $200 towards investing, and I did do that. Again, I just buy ETFs in a few individual stocks, but primarily ETFs. And one of my financial goals for 2025 is to diversify my investments, which I am working on. And then the last category for saving and investing is my car insurance and our house. This goes into a joint account that I have with my husband. We both put a portion towards our car insurance and then our house maintenance savings account. And my portion is $200 for both of those, and that is what I actually put. So while I budgeted to put aside for savings and investing $1,816, I actually only put $1,219. It happens. I have made peace with it. It wasn't exactly what I wanted for the month of December, but it happens. It is what it is. And I'm going to explain to y'all what happened with my spending in the month of December. So now I'm moving on here to the fixed expenses. And these, of course, are expenses that don't change month to month. So honestly, these are really boring. They're the same every month. So I'm just going to go through it really quickly. I budgeted to put $1,661 towards my mortgage. Basically, that's what I put towards my portion of our mortgage. Same for water, budgeted $50, put $50. Netflix budgeted $17. Actually spent $16.42. So again, you see I round up for my expenses, and then usually they're a little bit lower. Electric, I put $100 towards our electric bill. We only spent, or for my portion, I only spent $82. Verizon Fios, I put $43 for it. It's $43.10, so which means I probably need to round up another dollar here moving forward in the future. But 10 cents difference, not that big of a deal. Verizon Wireless, which is my cell phone service, I budgeted $38 and I spent $37.70. And again, I am probably going to be finally leaving this plan behind in 2025 and switching to either Mint Mobile or Visible by Verizon to get an even lower cell phone bill. And then Apple, which is my Apple Music student and my iCloud storage, budgeted $13, spent $12.64 for that. So in total, I had budgeted $1,922 for my fixed expenses, but I actually spent $1,902.73. So we did come in the green for our fixed expenses, and we're gonna need every little bit of green that we can get to make this budget closeout work for the month of December. So now let's move to the problem child or problem children of this budget for December, which are my discretionary expenses. And as y'all can see, there's a lot of red. I went over in basically every spending category, discretionary expense that I had in the month of December. I just did not plan December out well at all. And, I can admit that now and just try to, do a little bit better the next time a holiday season come around. Now, granted, I did get married in the month of December as well, so that also made things a little bit wonky, but I didn't expect it to be this bad when I put all of my numbers in. So for groceries, I budgeted $240 for my portion of our groceries. Again, this is a shared expense with my husband, but what I actually spent was $303.61. So I went over by $63.61. And this is because we had family in town, we had family in town. We bought our wedding cake. Again, if you want to see my story about my wedding cake, the wedding expense video, I explained that there. So we made dinner for some of my husband's family. So it just was, again, poorly planned. We should have put more money aside for groceries this month. So yeah, in the red for groceries. For gas, I budgeted $100 and I only spent $52.50. I barely drove at all in the month of December. I worked pretty much up until, I think, the 17th. And then after that was the wedding. And then the rest of the time for December, I was on vacation. So I barely drove anywhere for the month of December. So I have $47.50 left over from gas. Beauty was, I budgeted $50, I spent $50. This was spent on my wedding nail set. So that includes the tip. I just got gel nails. I'm not like I'm not a nail girly. So a $50 gel manicure was all I needed for my wedding nails. And that included the tip. So $0 left over for that. Now this is a sad one, y'all. This is shopping. Again, I was delusional at the beginning of December or November, end of November when I made this budget. I budgeted $100, spent $207.78, went over by $107.78. Again, we were out doing Christmas activities with just, me and my husband, with his family. There was just so much going on in December, and basically, if it didn't fit to any of these other categories, I put it in shopping, and that's what happened here. We went to a Christmas market. So, totally delusional at the beginning of December, thinking that I was only going to spend $100 on shopping, and went over by double. So, fun. I had budgeted zero, spent zero, so did okay with that. Giving, I budgeted $50, and then I gave away $50.96. So I don't mind coming in, over budget for giving. That's fine with me. So I only came in over by $3.69. 96 cents. So I have a reoccurring donation at a local advocacy group that I give to, and then also the janitorial staff on my floor in my office. We all usually pull money together to get them a gift every year, and some of my giving money went towards that as well. Another category where I was totally delusional when I set this amount of money to spend was eating out. I said I was going to spend $65 on eating out, which is what I normally do. Normally we're pretty good about not doing too much eating out in our household, but I spent $128.52 over budget by $63.52. And again, I just was being delusional. We had multiple days where we took my husband's family down to DC, so we got lunch there. We were at the Smithsonian museums and had dinner down there. Again, just being totally delusional with how much money I set aside for eating out. But, it is what it is. Holidays, I budgeted $50. This one I'm actually pretty proud of. I budgeted $50 for spending on things for Christmas and New Year's. I only spent $58.95, so I only went over by $8.95. So I'm not too mad about this one at all. I'm not too mad about this one at all. Gifts, $50 I budgeted against. Again, y'all see my delusion. I spent $196.95 on gifts. So this included my dad's retirement. Again, December was just a crazy month. My dad retired, had a big retirement party, so I contributed towards his gift for that. Christmas gifts for family that came in town. Originally, we weren't gonna do gifts, but we did decide to do gifts after all. So over by $146.95. Yeah, y'all see the trend in my spending for the month of December. Car, I spent $20. I budgeted $20 on my car, only spent $15.94. I did clean my car out at the end of December, so I bought a new air freshener. And then some of this was also paying for parking at various places as well. But I still came in under budget by $4.06, not mad at it. And then again, contributing with this trend. Well, I guess this one isn't really contributing to this trend because I set nothing for clothes. And what happened was we were, out and about so much. The winter coat that I wear primarily, I've had that coat for going on 10 to 12 years. So the down in it is basically flattened out. It doesn't keep me warm at all. And I was just tired and fed up. So when we were out, we were at a Uniqlo, and I decided, you know what, forget it. I'm tired of being cold all the time and wearing a jacket that's 10 to 15 years old. So I just bought a new coat on the spot, and I also bought a sweater and some hat and some mittens, and 100% worth the purchase. My new jacket is actually very warm and well made, but again, didn't budget for this at all at the beginning of the month. I spent $227.35 on those items, but they were well needed. I'm not gonna lie, they were well needed, so it is what it is. Electronics, electronics basically has been empty for years now. House, I budgeted $30. I spent $26.49. Came in under budget by $3.51 for just a couple of home decor items in the month of December. Health, I budgeted $50. I spent $36.35. This was on a copay and a couple of prescriptions, so I came in under budget by $13.65. And then pet, I budgeted $15. I got my dog a Christmas gift that was $11.18, and then I came in $3.82 under budget. So when we add everything up, I mean, y'all see the number. I came in over budget by $549.58. It is what it is. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. So when I come up to the summary of everything that I spent in the month of December, for the actual, again, for the income, $4,601.50. Expenses, $3,272.31. So came in quite a bit over for expenses. And then savings, $1,329.19. For savings. So definitely not my best month, but I'm gonna learn and plan better for when we have seasons where there's a lot going on. I'm gonna learn and plan better the next time. So I know sometimes people like to see this information in like a graphical format, including me. So I just have like a graph of the budget versus actual. The budget here is in the red and the actual what I spent is in green. So you can see, the same information reflected, went way over in spending, and didn't save nearly as much as I wanted to. And then here is where I think, it's a bit easier to see in terms of what percentage of my money was spent on what, is in this donut chart or pie chart, whatever you want to call it. So I have budgeted to put 42% towards fixed, 18% towards discretionary, and then 39.8% towards saving and investing. But this is what actually happened. So while my fixed is pretty good, I stayed on track for what I budgeted to spend on fixed expenses. Obviously, I spent, over 10% more in discretionary expenses than I wanted to, and put 10% less basically towards saving and investing. But again, I'm gonna learn for the next time I have one of these busy seasons to plan a little bit better. And then the last thing I just want to show y'all is kind of where my accounts are. I also have this information. I put the information at the start of the month and then at the end of the month. So I'm not going to go through all of these because I am going to do my Q4 review coming up, probably the video after this. But overall, I started the month of December with in all of my accounts, a total of $136,097.87, and I am down to $133,152. That should not have been that hard to say. But this also includes the fact that we paid off everything for the wedding. So everything for the wedding is done, dusted. We don't owe anything else. Everyone has been paid. All the credit cards have been paid off. So, I did expect my overall account balance for all my accounts to go down in the month of December. And that's okay. It's worth it to be debt free. Okay, y'all. So that's going to go ahead and end my December closeout. How did December go for you? Was your December, in terms of your budget, as tragic as mine was? Mine was all over the place, and I'm definitely going to learn to, plan a little bit better in the future for these busy periods of time. Let me know how your December went. If you celebrated Christmas or Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any of the holidays in December, how was it? And Happy New Year to you. I hope you had a great one, and I'm putting it out there in the universe. We are all going to have a fantastic 2025. But thank you for watching, and I'm going to see y'all in my next video. Bye.